Views expressed by Casters Guild members are only the opinions of that member, and that could change from day to day. Guild members may use mature language, but that in no way means they are mature. Listener discretion is advised.
So you think you're a geek. Well, what does it mean to be a geek? It means you have a love of something so much that it borders on obsession. So why not commit it permanently to your skin? Sanitize everything and fire up the machine, because that's the spell we're casting tonight on Casters Guild. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's episode of Casters Guild. I am your guild master and unflinching canvas, Rick Perry.
And I am your guild master, Baron Low Pain Tolerance Kane.
And joining us tonight for the first time is a new guild member. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lucy Leftcraft, and I'm the stabby one.
So tonight we're talking tattoos. So we usually start with a question of what's your favorite. So Lucy, what is your favorite style of tattooing?
I specialize in either an anime or kawaii style, and kawaii, of course, being Japanese for cute and being that cutesy style.
Excellent. Baron, your favorite style?
Favorite style? I mean, not sure if I guess I would have to go with like any kind of like the spiritual based tattoos. I don't know if that's a style, but that could, I guess, go into a lot of different styles. But anything that a lot of, like, especially because I'm pagan, I have a lot of pagan friends that have spiritual-based tattoos, and I just love seeing what kind of spell work people can get into their skin.
That's awesome. I would say anything that fits into like the old school high fantasy art, like the stuff you see in advanced Dungeons and Dragons source books and stuff like that. Or being that I was in the Navy, I really like that old school Sailor Jerry, like nautical style of tattooing as well.
Do you want to hear a fun fact about that style?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So the reason it's done so simple is because back in the time they didn't really have like stencils. That's what Tattoo Flash was. You'd go and pick a design, and it was so simple so they could do it so quickly because sailors would come to port, and you'd have one tattoo shop like in the whole state, and they would just line up and they'd tattoo as many as they could as quickly as possible to get them out the door. That's like all of that. It's only using like 3 or 4 colors, like just the same width line, so you only need one needle to do it all, and then you just kick them out and be like, all right, next one, sit down. Because back then they didn't sterilize anything either. No gloves. Fun.
I'm glad that was like a fun fact. Usually when people say something like that, like, hey, you want to hear a fact about that? It's they had to kill like 8 babies to be able to do those.
Well, the government didn't create AIDS at that point either, so it's not like they had to wear gloves or worry about that.
That's true.
So, Lucy, when did you start tattooing?
I started in 2017, and I started in Tennessee.
And what led you to that?
Basically, I always knew I wanted to be an artist. I always liked drawing and stuff. I just only wanted to draw cool shit because otherwise the only other career where you can make decent money as an artist is like as a graphic designer, and that's just boring. Like, I don't want to do shapes and lettering and stuff. I want to draw dragons and cool shit and like big titties.
Those are all amazing things.
Yeah.
I would say also a graphic designer. I mean, like you're getting hired. You're never getting hired, pretty much never getting hired to draw what you want to draw.
Yeah.
Like it's always like, hey, I need a logo for my company, or hey, I need this like advertisement for whatever. And with tattooing, you can at least work with your client to get something that you actually want to produce, something you can be proud of each time.
Yeah, otherwise, like, hey, you want to make like a brochure about erectile dysfunction, or do you want to draw like a dragon? Dragon 10 out of 10, like always.
A dragon with erectile dysfunction.
Yeah. Well, that's when you start branching into like furry porn in the same style.
Yeah, and like, you know, unless in the tattoo you actually see the dragon's penis, you don't know they don't have erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, right.
Like every single dragon you draw could have erectile dysfunction. You don't know.
Yeah, we're not ableist here. Like, totally normal.
That dragon is still completely valid.
He's not any less of a man because of it.
Nope.
All right. Okay.
I'm just over here being sad for a dragon now. Jesus.
Pour one out per follow me.
What kind of potion is like the high fantasy version of Viagra?
Well, I guess I'll
Or-
work it next game.
Or
Could
is
just
it
be called
just a
like rock
spell?
hard.
Hey,
It's like a modified version of mage armor. It just works on the one area.
stone skin, except it's stone shaft.
Well, I mean, all an erection technically is all the blood rushing to one area. So you just need to figure out some way to get all the blood to rush to one area. So what spell would do
Inject-
that?
Just fucking inject cure light wounds or something in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there you go.
That I'm sure that would induce blood flow sometime.
Some sort of inflammation, at least.
I mean, it originally was like heart pills, wasn't it? And then they just found it also caused that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it was
Yep.
supposed to be. Yep.
just a big fucking lightning bolt to the dick.
Trying to help you.
Yeah, it's 66 damage, but you are fucking rock hard. Wow,
All right. So,
brain just derailed.
what do you love or hate about tattooing?
I love the freedom with it. Like working a normal job where someone gets to tell you what to do, I just have found wasn't for me because I was also in the military, and like, wow, I'm getting screamed at and don't even get to get off. I'd rather just be able to get off on it. So that's really cool. And I also just kind of, when you tattoo, it's such a lax environment. You're really just hanging out with your friends, and I love that. Like, I have really cool clients just because of the stuff I do. People see it, they come in, we have cool conversations. I get invited on cool shit like this. The one thing I hate, I don't know, like being hunched over for 8 hours a day holding a tiny vibrating machine. Like that's it's hard on your body. Like you don't even realize like you're having so much fun doing such a cool thing, then you stop and you're like, chiropractors hate me.
Why does everything hurt?
Yeah. It's like, doctor, I don't know why my back hurts. Meanwhile, me for like 8 hours, like shrimping around like someone's forearm. But tattooing legitimately is so much fun. It's one of the only jobs I've ever had where like if I'm sick or can't go in, I'm like, fuck, I can't go to work. That sucks. Like
Yeah.
COVID, we were all miserable. Like, no, we want to go to work. Not even just to make money. We just legitimately enjoy doing it. Like half the time we'll do it for free if it's something cool. Or like, you know, like tomorrow I'm tattooing my mother-in-law. She's not paying. She gave me her son.
She signed the contract, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We're doing a cover up on some like stretch marks she has, and she keeps joking that because like her son gave her the stretch marks, I have to cover him up. Like it's only fair.
That's fair. So this is one all of us can answer. Do you have a favorite tattoo?
Yeah. I have tentacle porn on my thigh, and I think it's really funny. I've never had any people say anything to me, but it's tentacle porn. So I feel like maybe because I look so intimidating, people don't want to say anything to me because they know I'll just tell them to go fuck myself.
Nice.
Baron?
Man, it's really a toss-up now. I'd say it's probably a tie between the Medusa on my arm, or the Medusa head on my arm, or the werewolf on my calf. The Medusa head is just it's a cover-up, but it covered up the first tattoo I ever got, which was a hilarious story. Now it's like a full like upper arm tattoo that's just Medusa's head. And then I have a Vitruvian werewolf on the back of my calf, which was inspired by a brief snippet in a Harry Potter movie. My tattoo artist was kind enough to sneak a big cock onto the werewolf.
Is it really sneaking if it's a big cock though? Like.
Well, it is now because it's faded, and sneaking when you can't regularly look behind you to see the tattoo, so.
I mean, if it's the same color as the leg, I'm sure you have to kind of look for it, right? You know,
right. No, I'm sure when I was wearing shorts around when the tattoo was fresh, a lot of people got a good view.
I'd have to say, and not just because the artist is on the cast right now, but my most
if you
recent...
don't say your arm, I will cry.
my most recent tattoo is probably my favorite. The thing about most of my tattoos is most of them were not professionally done. My first tattoo ever was professionally done because I was like, I've never done this before, and I'm not going to trust some rando with a tattoo gun to commit something to my body. So it's really good. It's probably my second favorite tattoo. It's some fang marks on my left shoulder blade, and dripping out of the fang marks is blood spelling my wife's name in Japanese. Then the rest of I've got one on my chest that was done by an uncle. I've got one on the back of my leg that was done by a family friend. They're both a little shaky, but I knew what I was getting into at the time. Basically, I still paid for them and everything like that, but I knew I was helping an artist hone their craft. And then I also have like one that I got on a Friday the 13th. I got a pair of dice on my ass because I thought a couple D6 to my flank was a decent D&D sneak attack joke.
Oh, that would be Friday the 13th tattoo. It's just a D20 with a 13 on it.
Yeah. Well, like you have to pick from their sheet anytime it's like a Friday the 13th place. So of course they didn't have a D20, but they had a pair of dice with a 1 and a 3.
That would work.
Yeah. So, and I was just like a 2D6 to my flank. I was like, I'll put it literally on my ass. You know what I mean? It's a sneak attack.
Yeah.
So, and then by that point I was like, okay, I've paid my dues. I've done my due diligence of helping artists work on their craft. I was like, from now on, this canvas is for professionals only. And then I spent 2 years talking to myself into getting this half sleeve done until finally, due to a sale that my wife found on Facebook and with an artist that a friend of ours who worked at a GameStop recommended, I got myself an 8-hour session for $600. And I was like, take it. And now I've got a wonderful red dragon tattoo on my forearm that takes up half of my arm. It's a half sleeve and a draconic passage on the other side that works as some excellent filler. And it's always the part that I get asked about is everybody wants to know about the writing. So I love it. It's an excellent tattoo.
I told you they would too. I told you need to memorize the entire passage. And so, because like people are going to ask.
I'm still working on it. I'm working somewhere right now. I just have it like as somewhere easily accessible on my phone, so I can just pull it up and be like, "Here, this is what it is."
I actually use your tattoo as an example to a lot of tattoo artists sometimes because I get asked like how I get such cool clients and how I get to do like so many like fully custom pieces. And half of this job is being like a salesperson because like your original idea is so different than what we ended up doing, but it ended up being like something you love, something meaningful, like just really cool. And so I can show like the sketches I originally set you of like, this is what you want, and this is what we can do, but this is what I want to do and would look really cool.
And yeah, we did a lot of back and forth, and I think during that back and forth, you got a really good idea of exactly what I wanted out of the tattoo, and you were able to reinterpret it and with an artist's eye. Because I mean, like I've done some artistic stuff, but I'm definitely not an artist. Unless you consider podcasting an art.
It certainly is. No, I feel that. But part of the job is kind of interpreting like what people. Because at one point I even asked you like, what do you want the tattoo to represent? Like, do you want it to represent like your character D&D? Like, what did you? Yeah. And that was what we ended up going with.
And I imagine that that's probably a huge part of the job. We probably spent a lot more time doing that back and forth than we did the actual art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in the end, like some people like they think they know what they want, but then like I have to figure out what they actually want. Because like. For example, my appointment next week, she wants just something on her foot to cover this tattoo. She doesn't care what it is, she just wants it gone. And she just wants it, like, to still look feminine. And so what she's sending me just isn't working as a cover-up. So I've had to, like, really convert everything to being like, does it still work as a cover-up, but it'll still be very dainty and feminine and pretty. Not trying to give too much information because I don't want to dox or anything or, like, throw our business out, but it's just a cover-up. It's pretty.
It's got to be kind of tricky with cover-ups. Because you have to do a cover up a certain way, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the Medusa head is a cover up on me, and we had to do things very specifically to be able to make it work. So
yeah, cover ups are either one of my favorite or least favorite things to do, simply because if the person's very picky on what they want, they're my least favorite because you have to let your artist do it because you can't just do anything on it. Like half the time we have to draw it on like with marker to work because like cover ups have to be huge, they have to be dark, like. Because you're not even trying to cover up the old tattoo, it's mostly just camouflaging it. Because like with any cover up, half the time if you look, you can still probably see like parts of the old tattoo. It's just making it so like when the average person's looking at it, you don't see it at all.
Yep. That was what was mine. The biggest parts of the tattoo just got incorporated into the new one. Mm-hmm. Like because I know what I'm looking at, I can point them out and be like, oh, this was the nose and this was whatever. And so yeah. That's still cool though. I love the whole concept of cover-ups and how an amazing artist can take something that's already there that's supposed to be permanent and then turn it into something completely different.
They're definitely a lot of fun. I love doing them. Like I said, if I have like a cool client who isn't picky.
Right.
But some people are so dead set on like Like, do you just want to take it, do it yourself? Like, you just have the machine. Like, just go for it. Like, health
Right.
department won't care. I promise.
Yeah, a lot of people going into it with the customer mindset, the customer's always right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The I'm paying for this, so I should be able to get what I want. And it's like, you don't understand what's going on, do you?
Oh yeah, people ask me a lot, like, do you ever turn down people? I'm like, oh yeah, every day. And people get really upset sometimes when you tell them no, because they're not expecting to be told no. And I'll start tell them like, hey, go talk to this artist like at another place. And like, you just gonna send business somewhere else? Like, yes, because even though it's on your body, my name's attached to it. Like, if no matter what, it's not gonna look good, I don't want you to tell people I did it, because then even if they're not gonna tell you to your face like, hey, that looks like shit, they're still gonna be like, oh, well, I'm not going to go to that girl. She did that shitty tattoo. I don't want to do it. So yeah, no, I'm definitely not like, I don't do racist tattoos. I don't do anything inappropriate or controversial. Like the most controversial stuff I do is like the nudity and pornographic stuff. But even then, like I'll go to bat on that one about why like sex isn't like bad. Because some people get more upset at like titties on someone's forearm than they will like a decapitated head on someone's forearm. I think that's weird.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation before with people about how like in reference to movies, sex in movies and stuff like that is always it's always rated R, or more. But like someone getting decapitated, shot in the face, that could be PG-13.
Yep.
It's like
depending on the angle or how it's shot. Yeah.
And the sex won't even be like explicit either. It'll be like they'll just be like moaning. You won't even see any naughty bits. Like you might see a titty or like a nipple slip, and that's it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, my poor virgin.
And if you do any frontal nudity at all, like the moment you see a penis or a vagina, it's like that's hard R, like immediately.
Yeah, you can't see that in theaters, like none of that. It wasn't until Game of Thrones where I first started seeing like male nudity, like casually shown, where it wasn't just like he wasn't erect or anything.
That's a premium channel. Like you're not going to get that on cable.
No.
But that's a very American attitude towards censorship in general. Like if you go to Japan or most of Europe, like that's flipped. You know, they're okay with like nudity and sex in their media, but
you'll see
show,
like full nudity on billboards and advertisements.
Yeah.
Hey, just saying, white America was founded on a group of people that came to America because England wasn't strict enough. So,
and I can tell you from working at GameStop for many years, I would have parents come up and they're like, "Hey, I want to buy this game for my kid," and I'm like, "Okay, you understand it's rated M," and they're like, "Does it have any nudity in it?" I was like, "No, but it has like some pretty gory violence." I'm like, "Oh, I don't care as long as there's no nudity." And like it's like they don't even want to hear it. Like I'm like, okay, well in this game, this is one of the newer Call of Duty games. You literally sit down across from your platoon partner and you're forced to play Russian roulette and you watch them blow their own brains out. It's okay as long as there's no tits. All right, cool. Here you go. It's your 5-year-old.
I feel your pain. On the same note, I actually worked at a movie theater when the first Deadpool movie came out, and like parents would come in with their like kids. Now we're trying to warn them, like, hey, it's rated R for a reason. It's not just one of those like they gave it rated R to like, you know, get some extra like cute shit or whatever. And then like, don't tell me how to parent my child. I can do what I want. I'm like, okay, just warning you. They would always come back and be upset and be like, why did you let my child see that? I'm like, I told you, I warned you. But Deadpool's one of the things too that was just very funny for how many parents were like, but my kid loves Deadpool. Why does it have to be rated R? I'm like, when has he ever not been rated R?
Yeah, like how does your kid love Deadpool?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think your kid actually knows Deadpool, or you're not paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah, it means they think all comic books are kid friendly.
Yep.
Yeah. So
they'd also probably be one of the people that would wonder why the X-Men are being so politically correct.
Let's keep the politics out of comics, okay, guys?
right. It's like, bro, have you read any comics at all?
Captain America isn't political, okay?
Right over the head, everything. Oh god.
Oh man.
So kind of as I said in the intro, like basically being a geek is just being obsessed with something, right? Or loving so much that it borders on obsession. I mean, I've never found a better definition of what it is to be a geek. You might have to throw the qualifier on there that it's something that's not mainstream or something that's a little bit more obscure. Because like if you're obsessed with cars, you're not considered a car geek. You're considered like a car buff Or like if you're obsessed with like sports, you're not considered like a sports geek, you're a sports fan or something like that. But that being said, a lot of geeky stuff is coming to the mainstream. Would you consider someone who gets like a crazy amount of tattoos a tattoo geek?
It kind of depends. There are certainly those people, and we can always point them out, that they want tattoos because they look cool. And so their goal is to look as heavily covered as possible. And these are the people who come in and they want like their hands done first. Like their first tattoo like has to be their whole forearm. I actually heard an artist once call it that you look hoodie tough. So when you wear a hoodie, you look covered in tattoos, and you take it off and you're like, oh, you have like one neck tattoo and that's it. Okay. But these people see it as aesthetic. They don't understand that tattooing has like a rich history and culture. These are the same people who will like accuse us of like gatekeeping when we make fun of what we call scratchers, or people who tattoo out of their house or unlicensed without like the direction of an artist. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'll gatekeep that. Like that's fine. But yeah, it has gotten more popular, which is both a good and a bad thing. Like I do love that it's way easier to get a job now if you're heavily covered in tattoos. Like not as many people glare at you. Maybe if you don't live in a small town here, like I still turn heads in a Waffle House, like in Springfield, Tennessee. But it's not like it used to be.
Yeah, that's definitely true. My daughter's mom actually has tattoos on her head, arms, and everything like that. She actually is a nurse, and I actually remember my dad seeing her and being like, "Man, if I ever saw someone look like that as a nurse, I'd tell him to go away." So I was like, okay, that's definitely showing the line of where we used to be to where we are now. So
yeah, I got pulled over once in a small town around here, and they just said I looked suspicious. And I was like, how? Like, I drive a Prius. How do I look suspicious? But literally, I was just covered in tattoos and have a pink mohawk. Like, even then, the first time I actually met my husband's like Southern Baptist grandmother, the first thing she said to me was, "Oh my God, you look so pretty despite all the tattoos."
oh,
thanks. Yeah.
Oh, Southerners.
Thanks, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you go to bigger cities, like I'm from Michigan, so if you go to like Detroit, you're in Atlanta, like it's not that bad. Like it's fashion, I love it. Like everyone's getting it. My wallet is happy with it. I'm meeting so many more cool clients, and there are some people who like see it, respect it. They want to learn more about it. They respect me as an artist, but some people don't, and there's the people that like, I'll send to something. It's fine. I can tell.
What about you, Baron? You think somebody who's super into tattoos could be considered a tattoo geek?
Well, so I know we kind of have a difference of opinion on like the whole geek thing. Like, yeah, they're called a car buff, but they're definitely a car geek.
Okay.
You're definitely going to have sports geeks. Geeks,
Let-
I think, just...
Let me clarify before you continue. That's not a difference of opinion you and I have. I agree with you there. I'm just saying society does not label these people geeks because it's not something obscure.
I think what it is it's not necessarily that they're not geeks. It's just society doesn't. They still think that being a geek is a bad thing. So when they see something that they like cars and sports, then they can't be geeks. They're just super into it. No, they're all geeks. So yeah, I totally think that people that are getting into tattoos heavily could definitely be a geek. Especially like if you go to the shows just to learn some of the new techniques coming out, or going to get a tattoo, or if you're doing tattoos, just immersing yourself in that culture. I can definitely see a person like that being considered. Definitely.
Very actually a good point.
I'm of the mind that anything that has a convention, like if you can do a convention, and it's not just like a business convention, obviously, which is what conventions were invented for or whatever. But anything that has a convention and people go to that convention in droves, like those are geeks.
Yeah, sure.
I actually will say that I think tattoo artists, like any tattoo artist who's like a tattoo artist and not a tattooer, because like we do think there's a difference. Like, oh yeah, they're geeks. Like you'll some people like there's two types of main machines. There's rotaries and coils. Coils are the old school solid machines that they used like back in the day. And so there's some artists who never even used one who have like collections of them because they're antiques, vintage. They'll collect flash like it's Pokemon cards. And like I do that. Like it's cool. Like you go to shows and conventions and you want stickers because you're like, oh man, I just got like Kelly Doty's sticker. This is awesome. Like
yeah, that's geek.
That's geek behavior.
That's high level geek.
Yeah, I've never met like a person who isn't a tattoo artist act like that, but yeah, tattoo artists, like we're huge like fucking nerds too. Like getting tattooed by your favorite tattoo artist, even as a tattooer, you're like, oh my god. Oh.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, Like, I mean, even like as a gamer, like I got to sit down at a table with Ed Greenwood. So it was just like, oh. And, you know, we're both just gamers, but it's still like, oh, this is someone who is a somebody.
No, I feel that. I was playing an online game once and ended up noticing I was like in a game with one of my favorite streamers, and I think I talked about it nonstop for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't shut up about it.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Or even I remember I was doing a tattoo once. I noticed another tattoo the girl had on her arm. I'm like, man, that tattoo, like, that style looks familiar. Did like so and so do this? And she's like, yeah, she did. I'm like, I'm doing a tattoo next to like one of the greats, and then I got all paranoid. I'm like, man, I gotta make sure this tattoo like slaps, because like if she goes in for a touch up and sees this, I don't need her talking shit like, who did that one? Like, no, it needs to be perfect.
And see, and that right there, like when you can look at somebody's work on somebody's arm and be like, that looks like yes.
Yeah, no, artists definitely are huge geeks.
I guarantee you, like I could know nothing about it if I saw two geeks of the same culture sitting down talking to each other. You could pick that language up. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I know how you're talking about it.
Yeah. So you collect, you know, just like there's certain keywords you're just like, that's a geek.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so when they start throwing out the proper lingo, you're like, oh, cool, we can actually talk about this. I don't gotta like.
It's like thieves can't.
Yeah, it is like thieves can't. Thieves can't what? All right, so kind of going off that same thing, what percentage, ballpark, would you say of your clients are geeks? Because like you would imagine, a lot of people who are committing something to their skin. There are some people who do tattoos on a whim, of course, but a lot of people are committing to their skin. It's something that they're, you know, are obsessed with, or something they really, really want. What percentage would you say of your clients are geeks?
Now, to clarify, you mean what percentage are tattoo geeks, or just geeks?
No, just geeks in general. Like I wouldn't say I'm a tattoo geek. Now I do know a little bit of history of tattoo. I did a presentation on like the history of tattoos once for my public speaking class in college, because they were like, "Oh, you need to do like a speech on the history of something," and I was just gotten out of the Navy recently, and so like I looked up like the history of different nautical tattoos and stuff like that. So I know a little bit of the history of the stuff and stuff like that, but I wouldn't consider myself a tattoo geek. But I am 100% a geek with tattoos, and I will continue to get tattoos of things I'm geeky about.
I feel like you're also allowed to like be a geek about something and not know like every single fact about it though. Like I have to, because it's part of my job. Like half the time I can point out different artist styles and like know like, oh hey, that's so and so, is because like I like the way she blends her colors. Like, okay, well let me stare at videos of her tattooing so I can do that myself. Like it's also like training for me too. So I feel like you can also just like really love the art style without knowing anything about it. Like I can say rotary coil, magnum, like liner, and you're like, what? It's just pretty, and still like be a good client. Because for me, it really just depends on like how you respect it. Because there is a difference between like the people like, well, I want what I want, and you should do what I want because it's my body. Like, no, those people aren't geeks or posers. Fuck those people.
No, I completely agree with you, and that's something I've said. Just even in terms of like when we were talking about D&D or comic books or something, it's like you don't need to know everything about it. If anybody tries to come at you and say you need to know everything about your fandom to be a true geek, it's like, well, you know, get the fuck out. We don't gatekeep here. So
yeah.
You also don't want to be that incel. If you're like, you see a girl wearing a banter, you're like, hey, we'll name 5 songs. Like, no one wants that. Like, just like what you like. It's okay.
Now, yeah. Now, I will say that sometimes in those terms, the geeks will be testing each other.
Yeah.
To see where in the conversation we can start.
The only time I'll pipe up is if I hear him say something wrong. I'm like, well, actually, like that's me. Like, sorry, not sorry. I will correct you.
Actually, or well, actually, that's like the geek battle cry.
Yep.
And then it's the ultimate, like the ending. Just Google it, see who's right, end it, Google it.
Yeah. I remember when we didn't have that option, and the geek arguments that would ensue based off of books would be coming off of shelves, like indexes would be referenced.
I think that's the only reason why libraries were used at one point.
Settle arguments. Yep. Geek arguments specifically.
Geek, yeah, specifically.
Well, because that's where all the geeks were like hiding. They're like, man, I don't want to be outside in the sun. Like, fuck, let me be in there where the cool shit is.
Then they switched over to computers and they don't use the card indexes anymore. And now we're all confused.
Now we've got Google and Alexa to solve all of our arguments.
Yeah. Oh, and to answer your question earlier, though.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was going to answer your question when you actually asked me, like, maybe 10 minutes ago about what percentage of my clients are geeks. That's kind of a difficult question for me anyways, because I mostly do anime tattoos. And so, like, no matter what, they're all fucking nerds. And I love it. But
Fair.
I would say probably about, like, 70%, because the last 30% will be, like, the random walk-ins I'll catch, like, doing, like, a name on a wrist. Like, someone's, like, first and only tattoo they ever want. Like small, meaningful shit. Very cute. I love it, because I love tattooing, so I'm not going to be like, no, I don't want to do it. It's not, like, I'm above that. Like, no, I will never do that, because, like, it means something to someone. I'm going to do a good job. I'm going to do it. It pays my bills. But, yeah, I wouldn't say they were, like, obsessed with tattooing. They just want something. Because even some of the people who I wouldn't say are geeks who only just want to be, like, heavily covered, like, I still love those people. I just had a dude where, if you saw on my Instagram, I just did a Pokemon half sleeve on a guy. And he originally just wanted his hand done, and he had no other tattoos. And I was like, and it's because he's in a band, and he just did, like, a band video. For a music video, I'm sorry, not band video, music video, where he was like, man, I'm the only one that heavily covered, and he'd be heavily covered, and he'd look cool. I'm like, okay, I'll do your hand, but only if you do the rest of your arm too. Like, let's just do a sleeve real quick. And we're like, okay, so we're starting a whole sleeve, and he's appreciating it. He loves it. He loves Pokemon, because I actually met him at, like, an anime convention, so I know he's about the nerd life. So now a pretty good percentage of my people are. But it might be for other people, like some artists who only do walk-ins or something, or who don't have, like, a generalized style, probably don't have as high of a number. But I do what I'm good at.
This is why I've always wondered, and, like, there's probably some obvious reason behind it that I'm just not seeing. But you got tons of tattoo conventions, and people are always getting tattooed at tattoo conventions as long as, you know, artist has free time during the convention. I've always wondered why anime conventions and game conventions and stuff like that didn't have more tattoo artists. Or I've never actually seen a tattoo artist doing a tattoo at an anime convention or a gaming convention at all. But, like, you got to think that's a big untapped audience there. Like they all want tattoos of those things.
That never occurred to me until you.
Part of it is actually the health department, because I've tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. So there are some conventions that will allow you to do it. You have to jump through some loops, but you can do it. Usually you have to get, like, an artist booth, and it's totally fine. But there's actually, like, just coming up, I think at the end of this year, there's, like, an anime-themed tattoo convention. So it's an anime and tattoo convention all in one. And there's, in Chattanooga every year, there's Literary Inc., which is a Harry Potter-themed tattoo convention that happens every year.
Well, it is a tattoo convention with the entire theme of just Harry Potter?
Yes, technically no, because they don't want to get sued.
Got it.
That's why they call it
okay.
Literary Inc. But yeah, it's a Harry Potter tattoo convention. Like, you go in, and even when you get invited to the convention, they mail you an owl and a letter saying you're invited, like it's a Harry Potter. It's very cute. I love it. There's some of the best people there. It's very woman friendly, which is a big issue in, like, the tattoo industry, which is why I love that one in particular. I was gonna go to the anime one. I'm just not sure how COVID's gonna feel about this year, so I was gonna wait till next year to try and go to it. But yeah, no, it definitely is happening. It's just the health department is so strict, especially in some more southern states and, like, red states. They hate tattooing so much they make us jump through so many hoops, especially when it comes to, like, licensing and stuff and going out of state to tattoo, because all of that varies.
Yeah,
but we tried.
Like I said, there was probably some obvious reason I was just, like, entirely missing. Like, my brain just went, well, if the convention centers can have them there during the tattoo conventions, like, there's obviously, like, they passed the health restrictions then, but, like, you know, that's the thing about the law. It doesn't always make sense.
Yeah, no, some definitely do. I know at MTech, I think there was 2 different people there, and then there was an anime convention in Birmingham, Alabama, where I knew some artists that were there. So maybe they are there, and you just don't see them.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I've been to MTech once, and I only went for, like, one day. So I didn't see anyone there, but I also didn't exactly scour the entire convention. So
conventions are fun, though. There's actually 2 kinds of conventions you can go to as a tattoo artist. There's, like, one for artists, and then there's one for, like, people wanting to get tattooed. And obviously it's, like, you know, you have, like, famous tattoo artists showing off their skills and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little too expensive for me when I can, like, just watch their Instagram, and they love the dramatic videos of them tattooing, and it's the exact same thing. Yeah, I don't get them talking about exactly what they're doing, but, you know. I don't have to spend $5,000 to go.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's expensive.
That is an expensive convention. Yeah.
Well, they're giving out their trade secrets.
Yeah.
We all use the same machine. There's no secrets. It's really just what you set your machine at and like exactly how you moved your hand. It's nothing special. But don't tell them that. Then they won't get $5,000 per person.
For legal
That's
reasons.
the trade secret. The trade secret
Mhm.
is how you convince people that you have a trade secret that's worth $5,000.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that is most people's trade secrets.
Yeah.
When the trade secret is used, it really means we don't have a trade secret. We just want you to think we're doing something special.
Ink Master has made that worse, I will say. I feel like Ink Master has done worse for the tattoo community than like people think it has. Because now people come in thinking they know anything about tattooing. They're like, well, I saw an Ink Master. I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, Ink Master isn't about tattoos. It's definitely about like the drama and like the reality show.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't realize about reality shows in general. Like, nothing you ever see on a reality show is real.
Yeah.
Or even if it is, it's so heavily edited that like
Mm-hmm.
they could be showing a picture of one thing with audio over it, and somebody could be talking about something else entirely, and they make it sound like they're talking about this thing because it's more dramatic that way.
Yeah.
So,
or they'll just be like, hey, you're a little too likable. Why don't you start a fight with him? I'm like, what? But I don't want to start. Like, just go start a fight. It'll be fine. But like the thing with Ink Master. Well, the thing with Ink Master too is like the whole thing is like, okay, well, you have 6 hours. They just go until they're done. Like, you don't have 6 hours. Like, and all the people are vetted too. Like, all of that literally is just for the camera. But even then, it's not even that hard to get on. You literally just have to email them and wait. Like, they don't scour for like the best talent there is.
Yeah, I think
That's
you can kind of, if you're paying attention to the show at all, you can kind of tell from some of the art that comes out of some of those artists. It's like, is this really the best our country has to offer? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is just some person who wanted to be on a TV show with Dave Navarro.
Yeah. They just want more clients. They're like, I don't care. I don't even have to like do well on the show. I just need enough people to follow my Instagram and then come get tattooed by me.
Mm-hmm. Like, even if you're kicked out episode 1, it's like your name is out there at least. And
Yeah.
you can say, oh, I at least got on to Ink Master. Like, I'm obviously the top percentage,
Oh, and they will. If you go to tattoo conventions, you will see so many banners of like, as seen on Ink Master, this person. You're like, who are you?
Which I think that they get. If it's anything like the Face Off, I'm pretty sure the Ink Master people get banners and shit that they can put up from Ink Master. So like they don't even have to pay for those banners.
Yeah, it's also free advertisement for the show. I mean,
obviously
it's a synergy type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because then people think like, oh, they were on Ink Master. They must be good.
Yep.
Not saying I would never go on Ink Master if I was offered because I love money, but like it is all like a scam. Like
Next season on Ink Master.
yeah.
It's like you spend however long on our podcast talking crap on Ink Master, and then the very
I'm gonna
next
get
season.
canceled.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get fucking canceled too. They'll be like, well, you said this. I'll be like, ah.
We'll make you this promise. If you get on Ink Master, we'll go through this podcast and spicy.
Just let me know when you're going to be on, and I'll just take this one down for a little while.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll wait and
Take the whole thing.
just email me back when you get off the show, and then I'll put the episode back up.
Yeah, we'll just film another one real quick of like the Ink Master friendly one.
Yeah.
I really do.
My experience on the show was just great. It wasn't a scam at all.
It really was tough, man. But I learned a lot along the way. And that's what's important.
If that is not the best competitive reality show response.
The journey's what's important, okay?
Of course,
Not winning.
But that one person was a bitch.
They didn't even belong on the show.
That's my favorite, is people who are like shown as like really bitchy on Ink Master and you meet them in real life and they're like the sweetest people ever. And they're like, oh yeah, that was just for the ratings. Like, yeah, I assumed.
Yep.
Like, here, you tell me Jersey Shore isn't real?
That's one of my favorite things is like YouTubers like who they get on YouTube and then they talk about experiences they had on reality shows. And they're like, yeah, I was on this reality show and here's why everything you saw on screen is bullshit.
Yeah, I have a friend that was on Face Off. Boy, she had some stories, let me tell you.
It's just gotta be fun though, like honestly. Like if you know like it's all fake. Like, because I know people who, like, and I know tattoo artists who watch it just for the reality show, and especially if it's, like, people you know. They're like, oh, my God, I used to work with him. Like, this is so funny watching him. And, like, knowing he's not like this.
Right.
But, like, I will say, if you want to watch, like, a show about tattoos and, like, appreciate the tattoos, like for me, I love cover-up shows. Like any of those like America's Worst Tattoos where they just spend the whole episode covering it up. Like those are cool. Because it also gives people realistic expectations on what a cover-up should be and also shows like the skill in doing it. And on America's Worst Tattoos, they have the tattoo artist Megan Massacre, who's also really hot. And so I also get to stare at her and then also stare at her tattoos. So it's like a double win.
That's a good advertisement. There was a tattoo show I watched, and God, for the life of me, I can't remember it. I can't remember the name of it. It was like Needle and Blood or something like that. And I'm probably going to regret saying this because it's probably going to be like, oh no, that chick's a hack. But it's a great show where they go to different places and explore different tattooing techniques and culture and stuff like that.
That actually sounds cool. I would watch that. There's just a bunch of tattoo shows right now because of like the success of Ink Master, so everyone's kind of riding off the coattails, which I'm happy for because then more tattoo documentaries come out. Like I just watched a documentary about that one woman who still does it where you have to like hike to her location. She does it the old traditional way with like a thorn and ink. Like, yeah, that's cool. Love that.
Are you looking it up, Aaron?
Maybe.
I was just asking because I will totally leave this section silent because it's easier to cut out while you're looking it up if that's what you're doing.
You don't know what I'm doing.
That's why I'm asking.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I had a Grinder notification, so he's probably just looking for what he's doing after this.
I didn't know that was you.
That's how I can tell you're not actually on Grinder if you think I'd be on Grinder.
Well, that's why I didn't think it was you.
That's why it's surprising.
And I have to say, I'm very disappointed. I haven't got a single sandwich out of this.
Oh, okay, so I was going to cut all this out, but now I have to leave.
A lot of very nice gentlemen I've met off of this, but no sandwich at all. For fuck's sake, what is it? They keep giving me Kat Von D shit.
About Kat Von.
All right, so what do you think about just in general the future of tattooing? Where do we see it going?
I think of the best way to put this that isn't like me.
It's okay to be mean.
Yeah, but like I'm also trying not to get canceled like other tattoo artists. So kind of the old school way is it was very like shop oriented. Like people went to a shop, they Googled it, they saw reviews, and they're like, okay, like this is where I want to go. The shop has the reputation. But now, thanks to social media and how everything is, I definitely think it's a lot more artist based at this point. Like an example, just look at music. Like you don't see a lot of bands anymore. Like you know a lot of like solo artists. And that's kind of how it is with tattooing. So you see a lot more like private studios. So I do expect it to get like the prices are always going up now at this point. Like wait times are getting longer because people are being a lot more picky. Like you'll still have the people who will do like the little walk-ins and who don't care, but I do see it going a lot more like privatized, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that. It's very similar to a lot of other industries nowadays. I mean, like you said, you got music, and then heck, even people with their porn nowadays. I mean, like instead of going to a particular website and subscribing to a particular website, people are going to OnlyFans and subscribing to a particular actress or actor.
Yeah, because it's like, why would I pay them their cut when I could just do it myself and keep all the money? Mm-hmm. Whether it's, Pornhub's website or the shop and the shop management. Because I will say, like, a lot of old school tattooers are kind of like a pain to deal with. Not saying all of them, just a lot, especially like as a woman, it can be difficult at times, especially as a woman who is, how can I put this, like gay as fuck? Like, Rick, you've seen my station. It's pink, it's sparkly. There's Hello Kitty everywhere. Mm-hmm. At one point, an artist had said something to me along the lines of like, I would just feel like if I was like a cis het like white man like who's like conservative, you just wouldn't want to tattoo me. And I'm like, I probably wouldn't, low key, because you probably wouldn't want the like style that I do.
Yeah.
Like if a super Republican dude comes in and wants like an uwu Hello Kitty face like on his butt cheek, like yeah, I'll do it. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm not gonna immediately turn him down because of it, but
if that's what they want, they're not gonna get turned away by your station anyway.
Yeah, right.
They're gonna see the Hello Kitty and be like, I want that artist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's building your brand though, right? I mean, if that's the kind of tattoos that you do and the kind of clientele that you cater to, I mean, there's nothing wrong with using shorthand to let people know what you're all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because usually back in the day, no matter what, like you just did what came in because there weren't as many clients now. Like we can now afford to be picky. And with social media, we can really get our name out there. Like, it wasn't often you would have clients travel from out of state unless they'd already been getting tattooed by you and moved and just wanted to keep getting tattooed by you. Like, social media has really just revolutionized tattoo, and I love it.
Yeah,
Because
and then added that it becoming way more socially acceptable too. It's got to be a good time.
it really is. It also helps it more personable though, because like a lot of people see tattoo shops as this like big scary biker place. You walk in and there's just this like some old dude like with a huge beard, like, what do you want? Like, you don't feel welcome. But now, like I kind of said earlier, it feels like we're friends. Like, but that's kind of the joy of social media. Like, for example, that's why the Kardashians got so famous with advertising, is it didn't feel like someone was selling you something. It felt like it was your friend being like, oh, hey, like, you should try this. Like, I've tried it. It's great. Like, just try it. So it felt more personable. And that's how it is now. Like, you can reach me a lot easier. You don't have to, like, come into the shop or anything. Like, and you, like, see more of us as people, though. Like, you see pictures of my pets, my bunnies, all of that everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, the more I hear about it, the more and more I can draw parallels to other geek things and industries that are also like just last week or 2 weeks ago, we did an episode on the revival of D&D and the way social media has made Dungeons and Dragons more acceptable. And you see the same thing happening with tattooing. I mean, like, if anyone would doubt at all that tattooing is a geeky thing, I mean, like, you can sit here and draw all these parallels to all these other geeky things. I mean, it shouldn't even be a question.
Yeah, no, because like 15, 20 years ago, you wouldn't see like a tattoo TV show. You wouldn't see people playing D&D like on the Tonight Show. Jeff Goldblum is like playing it on like a podcast and everything.
Right? I saw an artist rendition of his character and I fell in love.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
My poor bisexual heart.
Daddy. Well, he likes it when his fans call him that.
He does. He has come out and said that he does like that. Yeah.
I also.
He also said.
I'm glad we're on the same page here.
He also said that he enjoys seeing tattoos of himself. Like, when fans come up and they show him tattoos, like he does enjoy seeing tattoos of him.
I remember that because a guy I worked with had one of his tattoos on that video. The guy's a dick, but like he did decent tattoos of the tattoos on the video now. But thankfully they didn't post his name or anything, which I love because like that guy doesn't need more people going to him. But there's few instances where I'd be like, don't credit the artist, and that's one of them.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. I love how a lot of this, not mainstream stuff is starting to come out as cool. Because, I mean, everything, like, back when I was a kid, and you had geeks and you had nerds and stuff, I would have a couple instances where you'd have the bullies, so, the jocks and stuff like that. You'd have teachers be like, well, you better be nice to those nerds, because when they get older, they're going to be running things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's just going to be some nerd that owns a company or whatever. Nah, bitch, we are running the show. We are getting older, and we are making the things that we love mainstream. So,
and call it selfish, because it is. I love every minute of it. The fact that all the things that I love and all the things that I think are cool are becoming, mainstream and accepted, and not because they're mainstream and accepted, because I didn't care that they weren't mainstream back when I started loving them. It's because now I can, instead of having to go to some specialty shop on Etsy to buy merch or some item for the thing I loved and having to pay $60 for it, I can just walk into Target and pay $10 for it because it's so mainstream. And now, like you pointed out last episode, Baron, I own a gelatinous cube Funko Pop.
That said, support local.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, if you've got a friendly
Etsy or Target, give it to Etsy.
Yeah, if you can find it at both, yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I will say.
Yeah.
Even as an anime nerd, I love it now too, because like to get anime merch or anything like Japanese related, you had to like order on eBay. It was this weird knockoff. Like you'd get it like 6 months later. You had to pay like $40 for one T-shirt. Now you can get like your favorite like cartoons and anime at Walmart.
Yeah.
Like if you're lucky, you might be able to find it at Hot Topic, but like
only like the most popular stuff. But like now it's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's everything.
Yeah, but even with tattooing now, like I'm tattooing my mother-in-law. I'm tattooing my own mother, and like they're both cool and like regular people. They're not like weirdos like me, you know. Like you meet like my mom and my mother-in-law, and you wouldn't think that like they're cool with me, but they are because they're awesome. Like my mother-in-law, she's like a nurse at the VA and everything.
It's all about the removal of the stigma.
Mhm.
You know, like people had an idea of what all these things were, be it tattooing or D&D or any of the other nerdy stuff that's not mainstream. People all had this idea, this is what it is. And then it becoming mainstream, it's not that I love that people accept it more, it's that I love that people know what it really is now. That like the stigmas are being removed, and it's not like this thing that it isn't anymore.
I love that little kids now can like it and not feel like weirdos. Because I remember like feeling like a weirdo for like really being into that.
Yeah.
And now like kids can just be like, oh yeah, no, it's cool now. I will say I do still kind of geek out when I realize like some of my favorite celebrities are into the same thing. Like Henry Cavill. I actually first loved Henry Cavill because he and I have the same kind of dog, and we have kind of like a rare breed of dog, which is an Akita. But then he started playing like Geralt of Rivia, and he's like the hugest nerd ever. And I'm like, why can't you just spit in my mouth?
Just ask him politely. I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
He seems like
he's like married or engaged or something right now, but like she could watch. It's like she can join too. It's okay.
And it's I mean, just to kind of bring it back to tattooing, like you said, you have all these people who had this stigma about what tattooing is, so they never would have gotten a tattoo. And now that the stigma is being lifted, more and more types of people are getting tattoos. It's becoming more mainstream. And to pile it on top of that, even people who would have gotten tattoos before, they're getting tattoos of things they wouldn't have previously, because all the stigmas are being removed from things like Pokemon and Dungeons and Dragons, things like that. So you can do your Pokemon sleeve on this guy who wants to look badass for his music video. And like, 10 years ago, nobody would have thought a Pokemon tattoo looked badass, but now it's like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because now like soccer moms will do it, and it's no big deal. It's funny to me though, because like they're so used to like the old stigma of like the big scary like biker shops, because that's kind of what tattoos used to do. Like anyone who says tattoos didn't like start in like the gang world in America, they did. But they walk into like a modern shop now and they're like, oh, it's like nice. There's like a pleasant receptionist up front. There's like waters, like candy available, like nice couches, like everything's expensive, like it doesn't smell like cigarettes. Like it's all very just nice and pleasant now. Like if you've ever walked into like an old school style like shop, like you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Like you just
My
walk in
first
and
tattoo was done at a shop in pretty close to Baltimore, Maryland, called House of Ponchos. And it's like when you walked up to that shop, there was like 6 bikes parked out front.
Yep.
And like every guy who worked there had a bald head and a 3-foot-long beard, and it was a biker shop. I mean, the guy did great on my first tattoo. Like I said, it was my first tattoo was actually professionally done. It's still probably my second favorite tattoo. He did a great job, and like he was very personable once I actually talked to him. But I could absolutely see from the outside looking in that'd be very intimidating.
Yeah, as a woman, if I walked up to a shop like that and saw that, I probably wouldn't go in. And even like as a tattoo artist, and that's not saying they're not like scary dudes, because obviously I'm not scared of people with tattoos. It's just it's just the vibes are. I don't want to say the vibes are off, because that sounds such like a weird thing to say, but you just don't feel welcome in environments like that. And some people still love that they want to go in, but like most of my clients are women, because they're like, I've just never felt comfortable having a man tattoo me, because there's so many like predators in the tattoo industry too who take advantage of like having a woman, especially a woman who's like it's her first tattoo, she doesn't know what's happening. Like even piercers are just as bad. I know piercers who will be like, oh yeah, to pierce your nipples I have to rub ice on them first. You absolutely do not. Like you don't need to get the nipples hard at all to do the piercing. Like they'll do it as soon as you take your shirt off in the cold room. Like, but no, dudes are gross and it happens sometimes. And some people still like the old school style vibes, like they enjoy that, and that's fine. So those shops can stay around forever. That's good for them. It's not the kind of place I would go to or want to work at, but it's just because I wouldn't feel welcome there, regardless of being like crazy SJW with like a pink mohawk, And I just also have so many like LGBT clients as well. I just wouldn't feel comfortable having them in there, because I've worked in places like that where someone like, a couple like booths down says like something fucked up. I'm like, well, now I gotta defend my client. Like, well, here, now I gotta get in a yelling argument with another artist, and then I look like white trash. But I can't just like not defend my client. Like, what am I, not a bro? Like,
yeah, but yeah, I mean, like basically, you're right. I mean, like it's an entirely different scene now. I mean, the same shop I was just telling you about, they shut down, and it got replaced by, I think, an adult bookstore or something like that. And but many other shops opened up around that area, and like they're entirely different attitude. And even I think one or two of the artists who used to work at House of Ponchos now work at those newer shops, but like their stations and the energy that they put off are like entirely different.
Well, because there's a difference too between like a guy who's so stuck in the old ways that he thinks the new ways are just like not for him. Like, no, like I'm just gonna keep doing like what I do. Like, fuck this new shit. And then there's artists who actually like give a fuck about what they do and want to grow and adapt and change. And they can be in these like more modern environments and still fit in nice. And I love those people. Like the people I work with, like the owner, like he's been tattooing a long time. I'm sure he's been in some of those old school like biker bars. Like it's what it is. But he also knows that it's not the same anymore, and he can't like do kind of the same things and say kind of the same like fucked up shock humor that people say. Like, you have to be welcoming, and not just for the sake of business, because you want everyone to feel like they can be in there and like to get more people in, because that's how you make money, but also just as like a human being standpoint. Like, you don't, why would you just say fucked up shit to people for like no, like that's just me. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, some people think there are just like posers who just want to come and like get tattoos just because it's popular now, and some people were like, okay, like cool, I like that new people are coming in to get new tattoos. Like, that's fun. That means more money for me, but also just means like, yeah, more people are liking what I like. That's cool. Because we kind of talked about this briefly earlier with like the laws around tattooing. Even in the state of Tennessee, there's still some counties where it's illegal to open up a tattoo shop. If you look in the way like the zoning and codes are, it'll be like in the main parts of the city, no, like strip clubs, sex store, like brothels, and then right at the end, it's like tattoo and piercing studios. So you just can't work there. Like, it's illegal.
Yeah.
They see us the same as like anything else. So I would compare a tattoo shop to like a liquor store. Like, we're not doing anything illegal. We're not doing anything gross. It is like an adult-only establishment because minors can't get tattoos, at least in our state.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, it's like a liquor store. This is the same thing for liquor. I mean, like, you can't buy alcohol if you're under 21.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't mean that alcohol should be banned.
No.
This is not prohibition.
Yeah, but they certainly try and like make things difficult for us. Even like getting licensing and stuff can be very strange and difficult. And I think one of the weirdest parts about it just varies state by state. Like Kentucky, for example, only the shop has to have a license, not the artist. Whereas in Tennessee, every artist has to have an individual license. And then I think in Florida, you don't need any license at all. I'm not sure on Florida one, so don't quote me on that. But I do know one of the other states surrounding us doesn't need a license, like no matter what. So when you go to another state, even if it's for a show or just you're moving or even just guest spotting, like you have to look at the different laws and figure out like, well, can I do this or I have to pay me?
Yeah, no, I'm saying that you have to wonder if you need a new license.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to get like a temporary license. Like, it's a lot because they do try their damnedest to make it difficult for us sometimes. Because sometimes you'll open up a shop if it's in like a good Christian area. They'll like set up petitions to make sure where you can't open. Like, codes will come in and do a random inspection where like, oh, well, it turns out you need like waterproof and fireproof floors. Sucks. That's the only thing. I know a shop who got they didn't get shut down, but they had to push back their opening date because their drywall wasn't fireproof. Even though the building was like over 100 years old and like they'd never had to change the drywall before. The same thing actually happened to a bar that got sold to another couple who kept it as a bar, but they converted it to a gay bar. And it was the night of their first drag show where codes came in to do a surprise inspection and decided, oh, it was something random. Like the bathrooms weren't the bathrooms weren't big enough or something random. And they didn't have like the sprinklers were not like, there weren't enough of them or something stupid. Like something that had never been an issue, like the years the bar had been open before, that was selling an issue now that it was a gay bar.
Oh, looks like the light bulb fluid's low. You may need to.
Exactly.
What? Oh man.
People will find whatever excuse they can to push their own agenda.
Just because they want to keep it safe and clean. Meanwhile,
they're like the gatekeepers of society.
Yeah.
Like,
when tattoo shops are cleaner than most restaurants nowadays.
And they probably literally see themselves that way too.
Yeah. Like if you see a tattoo shop with the health score under 100, run. Because I don't even know of a single tattoo shop that I've been at, because I've only been to decent shops, but like that have had a below 100. Even shitty shops have had like at least 100% score. Whereas like a restaurant's like, yeah, man, we really worked hard and got that 60%. I'm like, like, does the salmonella come on the side, or can I get it like with my fish? But even I know nurses who don't know like bloodborne pathogens as well as tattoo artists do.
Yeah, it's so specialized.
Yeah, because even the state of Tennessee, in order to like get your license, you have to have the certification for it, and you have to renew it every year.
Oh wow, every year.
Which is very funny because every time I take the course, it's just like a PowerPoint with a bunch of like STDs, which I'm like, I don't think this applies to what I'm doing, but it's nice to see that herpes still exists and are still gross. Like, I just want to learn about AIDS, guys. Like, and on this episode of bloodborne pathogens, genital warts. Like, I don't think anyone's like got genital warts from a tattoo, but I don't know, first time for everything, I guess.
Just wait, and they'll be like, "Oh, to get your license, you have to take a self-defense course."
Yeah. I will say it will be awesome if they ever started being like, all right, now if you can draw a straight line, you can get your license. Because a lot of people are actually surprised when none of it is actually like talent-based as an artist. It's literally just like pay a couple fines, like jump through a couple hoops, and you can get your license. Like, it's not really like, are you good though?
Right.
It's just, do you do it?
That's more left up to, I guess, if you're trying to work at a shop, that's more left up to the shop, I guess. That shop has to have a standard.
Yeah, that's what a lot of scratchers run into, because I hear a lot of gatekeeping when it comes to learning how to tattoo. It's like, well, why do I need an apprenticeship when I can, like, some of the greats taught themselves? I'm like, yeah, but that was like back in the day before there was like 30 tattoo shops per city. Like, now there's no excuse. It's accessible now. Like, you can go in and find one. It's just you have to have an artist portfolio. You have to be serious about it. Some people would be like, all right, we're going to give you like drawing homework for a year. If you like keep up and do it consistently, then maybe we'll do it, because they don't want someone to come in just because they think tattooing. It's not. Tattooing is, my whole life is tattoo. I go, like, I work, I come home, I draw like my entire night. And I'm sitting on the toilet Googling tattoos and be like, oh, that looks cool. Like, it's all I do. And some people just aren't ready for that. And that's fine. Like, because I know a lot of apprentices who like get in and try it and they're like, this is a lot more than I thought. And that's fine. Just don't, like, it's not art though. It's not like, I want to try watercolor today. Let me just pick it up and practice.
I think that's what it's good with apprenticeships. It's not necessarily, I mean, yeah, you're going to learn more things, but the big thing you're going to learn is the dedication. You know, I know a lot of people will exploit apprenticeships and stuff like that, but with things like what, you know, tattoo artists have to go through, it's a valuable lesson of, this is the shit that you're going to be dealing with every day, and this is what you're going to have to do to be able to, you know, advance in this craft. So
yeah, scratchers learn that when it's like their first day like in an actual shop, and they're like, oh man, I didn't know like any of this, and they're like, well, keep the fuck up, dude. Like, come on.
It's like, bro, you can't tattoo for 2 hours. Go smoke weed for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And then maybe get back to it, as long as, you know, you're done watching wrestling at the time, and then, you know, come back to it 2 weeks later. No, you're doing this every fucking day, man. Every day. So you may be good, but if you don't got the dedication to sit down for 8 hours and, you know, work on somebody's tattoos, then you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and if you make the client unhappy, then in the end you could potentially like ruin the shop's reputation. People can't have that, so they kick them out like really quick.
Yep. So if you want to keep doing it in your garage, man, whatever. Do you, but don't try to bring down, you know, a bunch of other tattoo artists that you are working with because you want to ruin, you know, the job that you were doing.
Yeah, the issue is too is because like if you do it only out of your house, you're not surrounded by other like actually talented artists who are like way better than you. You'll never get better, because like you might see and be like, yeah, that looks pretty good. Like, yeah, okay. But then you see like an actual good tattoo and you're like, oh fuck, I'm dog shit. And if you never see that, you'll never know you're dog shit, and you'll never want to get better, because what could be fine, you could be potentially fucking someone up and you have no idea. Especially with a tattoo where half the time you won't know until it's healed. There's so many tattoos where I'm like, we're going to save some of this for a touch-up because I just want to see how it looks first before I keep going at it. Like, Rick, I'm pretty sure I told you that a couple of times, especially with some of the flames. I'm like, yeah, I can keep hitting it, or we can just wait and see.
Yeah.
Because you can't overwork the skin, and it's hard to tell if you've overworked the skin if you don't know exactly what to look for. And all of a sudden, if you've chewed it up, their wrist falls off, and you're like, well, that's a scar that's not going away.
I hate when that happens.
I was getting pretty puffy a few hours in anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, certain spots do swell really bad and it looks alarming. And sometimes be like, wait, no, it's okay. Like, this is normal. Like, please do not freak out.
I will say I was very surprised because I never put it together in my own head that a tattoo artist would tattoo for 8 hours. You know what I mean? Of course they would. It's a job, just like any other job. Of course you're going to work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. Of course you're going to put in time if you want to make your money. So like when I heard that you and other artists were offering an 8-hour session, I was like, do they really tattoo for that long? I was like, I'll sit for that long. I was like, yeah, I will sit for that long. I did it twice for one tattoo.
I mean, if we
I see you
didn't
shaking
do
your
like,
head over there, Baron.
if we didn't have to do 60 letters down your entire arm, maybe we wouldn't need to do it in 2 sessions. It seemed really cool at the time, and then like I'm letter 40 in, I'm like, fuck, I'm getting an aneurysm. Like I'm going cross-eyed from staring at all these like draconic letters.
Yeah, and like when it's a language like Draconic, like it is on my arm, like it's not even. I imagine it might have been easier if it were something like English or French, or at least something where you recognize the letters. Like when it's Draconic, it's just a bunch of random scratches in random directions to somebody who doesn't speak the language, which is no one.
Actually, Draconic is way easier because if I'd like make one character like a little squiggly, no one will notice. Whereas
Yeah,
like
that's
lettering is, even though it looks so simple and you're like, oh yeah, handwriting, like I do that 24/7, like no biggie. Lettering is actually one of the hardest things to do because like if you make that G look a little too much like a C, you've misspelled it and fucked up the whole thing.
Yeah.
But anything like that that's like too recognizable is way harder than you think. Like an artist once told me one of the hardest tattoos to do is a peace sign because it's a perfect circle followed by all those perfectly straight lines.
Oof.
You fuck up one part of it and the whole tattoo's ruined. Like you can get every single other little part of that tattoo like super crispy and perfect, but there's one little squiggle in there because like someone need to adjust without telling you, and all of a sudden there goes the whole tattoo.
Yep, I have a rune tattoo on my wrist, and we were talking about the perfect circle thing. I'm like, look, it's a rune. It goes on a stone. Make that shit imperfect. I don't care. You know what I mean? Just get it in there, and then we will go from there. The only thing I was worried about was the rune. So now the other one is supposed to be a perfect circle, and it's good. It's good. It's good.
I will say it tends to be a little easier because once you actually get it on the skin and like stretch the skin out and like get like where you can actually get it, because the skin needs to be very taut in order to tattoo it. Half the time it's usually like almost a straight line at that point. Like it's a very gentle curve. So it's a little easier, but like it depends.
I will say weight fluctuation also.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of weight, and I was looking at this tattoo. I was like, that's more of an oval. What were we thinking? And then I gained the weight back. I was like, oh no, that's okay. It's like a circle.
As part of this, one of those trends I see on TikTok that's like, tell me something that you never thought you'd have to explain to an adult. I have to do that a lot, especially when it comes to like seeing a tattoo design on paper and seeing it on your skin. They look totally different.
Yeah.
For example, I can put like on your wrist, like going down your forearm, like a completely straight line, and then you like stretch your fingers out or like twist your wrist slightly. It's no longer straight.
Yep.
And so like there will be people who be like, well, yeah, but it's not like straight when I like do this. I'm like, because it's not. Your body turns in curves. Or even sometimes I'm in like a couple of tattoo shaming groups on Facebook, and they'll be like, oh, well, the arm looks too small. I'm like, well, that's because it's on their forearm where it wraps around. So yeah, like if you think about it, like it's gonna like perspective. Yeah, it's still a shit tattoo, but perspective is gonna make it look a little more wonky than it probably is. That's also an easy way to tell if someone's traced a tattoo. If it like you can tell it kind of like tapers off to like a point on one side. It's because they just traced something on a curved surface.
Did you say a tattoo shaming?
Oh yeah, it's called ink shaming. It's great. I love it. People post like bad tattoos and you laugh at them, and it.
No, I get it. I think it's a great idea. It's just
they're really funny. The roasting skills in that group, like 10 out of 10.
Now I kind of want to get a tattoo. Have you seen the bad taxidermy things?
Yes, I'm also in that group. I love it.
Have you seen the lion? You know the lion with the bug eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
now,
it definitely looks like he just got a weekend bender of like heroin.
Yes. Now I want to get a tattoo of that lion.
That'd be fucking funny.
So people could be like, wait, is that a bad tattoo? Nah, this tattoo looks exactly like what it's supposed to.
It is a perfect tattoo of a very bad taxidermy.
This is photorealistic, buddy.
I get asked to do that sometimes, and my way would be like, okay, but only if we can put a frame around it, and the frame looks bomb, so we can tell that like the tattoo inside the frame was supposed to look bad. That's what I do with like kids' drawings. If you want me to tattoo like a kid's drawing, I'm like, okay, but like,
That's
gotta
a
make
good
sure
idea. Yeah.
I have something
Yeah.
like that on my leg where I made my husband tattoo me. My husband can't draw a stick figure, and I
Oh.
tattooed him for the first time because everyone always thinks like, oh, like he's married to a tattoo artist. I wish I could get like free tattoos whenever I want. I've tattooed him twice, and we've been married for 4 years now. Because tattooing your spouse is very stressful because I have to stare at it forever. And if there's a tiny little mistake, I will notice. And then in 10 years, when I have 10 years more experience under my belt, be like, fuck, I was bad.
You are not the first tattoo artist I've heard say those exact words.
Yeah.
For those exact reasons.
Well, I tattooed him, right? And he's like, as a joke, he keeps being like, all right, now it's my turn. Like, hand me the machine now. I'm like, okay. He's like,
Oh,
I wasn't expecting you to say yes. I'm like, you underestimate how stupid I am. Here you go, kid. It was hilarious because my husband's like very sweet. He's like, I don't want to hurt you. I'm like, sweetie, it's a tattoo. It's going to. But regardless, it didn't hurt because it was on my ankle. But I'm like going, ow, oh my god, like I've never had a tattoo so painful. And he's like, oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm like, you're not even touching me yet. Like the skin, like the needle wasn't even touching my skin. I'm like, the needle has to go in to like make it go in, right?
that's fucked up.
That is so mean.
Oh,
He's in art therapy now, and he keeps trying to tell his therapist that he's a tattoo artist. And she's like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, I tattooed my wife once.
I don't know why. As soon as you said he was in art therapy, I went immediately to, he's in therapy because of that?
Yeah, that experience sent him to therapy.
It was just like an immediate jump. It's like, oh, that's
She just
fucked
like
up.
traumatized him so much.
We've been talking for an hour and a half. You should already know that, of course, my spouse would have to be in therapy. Like, he deals with this 24/7.
Oh,
Like, if you
man.
marry a girl who looks like me, you have to be in therapy because you have just a little bit of trauma.
That's probably my least favorite question whenever I get a new tattoo or show somebody a tattoo is, did it hurt?
Yeah.
It's like,
to be fair though, you have those people out there. They're like, no, it didn't hurt at all, and
Those
like,
people are lying.
oh yeah, oh yes, they are. Oh my god.
I will say too, dudes tend to be bigger baby ears when they like get tattoos than women.
Oh,
Because I feel like women are just more used to the idea that beauty is pain. Because like, if you've ever had to wax your butthole, you can get a tattoo.
I know. I will admit it. I am a child when it comes
to waxing his butthole.
Yeah, when it comes to no, I've done that enough times. I'm used to it by now. Tattoos though, wow.
I'm also a baby when I get tattoos though. Like when I have my friends tattoo me, I'm like, oh my god, it hurts. I almost feel like tattoo artists are always bigger babies because like we do it to people so often. It's almost like karma. Like we have to feel it more or something. I don't know how it is. It's just the way the tattoo gods give it to you. Like you just are, you're gonna not be able to like deal with the pain as much. Like I need my blanket. It's hold my hand.
I was getting my werewolf tattoo, and I was laying down on my stomach, and I was laying there, and then all of a sudden I'm like super cold, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like really really cold, and he's like, oh okay, and he turns off the fan, and I wait there for a little while, and then I start sweating. I'm like, God, why is it so fucking hot in here? And he's like, oh okay, and he turns the fan on me, feels better. Then I got cold again, and I'm like, what the fuck? And like my wife at the time was like, it sounds like you're going into shock. I'm like,
I was literally thinking that. I'm like, ooh, he was about to pass out. As soon as I'm like, I look up and I see someone profusely sweating, I'm like, so we're going to take a break.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
usually like the first time someone's about to pass out is the sweating.
As soon as she said, it sounds like you're going into shock, Joe was like, okay, we're going to go ahead and take a break.
Someone get him some milk.
I
He needs
had
some
orange
milk.
juice, actually. I had orange juice.
That's
Yeah,
why a good
'cause-
tattoo artist always just has so many snacks. I'm like,
Well,
you need
he
some
was
snacks.
stocked. They had like
Yeah.
a mixtape there with like candy bars and orange juice. And then I was like, I didn't know why at first. Then I did. So
Well, a lot of people too, they tend to be so nervous for like the tattoo, especially if it's their first one. They're like, they just don't eat, or they don't eat a big meal, or they don't listen to me when I'm like, hey, we're doing an all day session. You'll be here for 8 hours. Bring snacks. They're like, no, I'll be okay. Like it's okay. And then me, when I'm in the zone, I don't have a watch on when I tattoo because I'm not gross, so I don't know how much time's passed. Like I'll be like, we're just doing lines. I'm like, oh, it's been 6 hours. I'm like, are you okay? Like, are you good? And people won't tell because they also don't want to feel like a burden to me too. I have to like constantly be like, are you sure? Like, I have to like be like a therapist sometimes. Like, we can do whatever you want. I promise I won't be upset. But you really have to like learn to read people's body languages too, and like make sure you come prepared and like bring food. Like, no one's gonna laugh if you bring a pillow to your tattoo convention, or your not tattoo convention, your tattoo session.
It's both. It's both.
Yeah. Sitting for 8 hours sucks. Regardless of you're getting stabbed too, just sitting in the same position for 8 hours sucks.
I don't understand the people that can fall asleep through that shit.
I've never had anyone actually fall asleep. It tends to be more of like the rhythmic, like constant vibrations in the machine tends to like lull you into almost like half asleep kind of thing, but never like snoring.
Mm-hmm. I have a buddy that claims that he falls asleep through it. And I was like, I mean, why would you lie about that? So I mean, maybe you do fall asleep.
Yeah.
But it's just like, how though? How do you? I don't even understand. It hurts so bad to me that I can't even imagine falling asleep during that.
Well, this leads me back to one of the reasons I hate that question. Like, did it hurt? Because yes is the easy answer to that question, right? Of course, all of it hurt. And I'm not a masochist by any means. But there are parts of it, like, for example, for my sleeve tattoo, I'm like, okay, well, let's go over this. And I'll point at, like, the fleshy part of my forearm and be like, this, yeah, it hurt, but it wasn't that bad. And, like, a part of it kind of, it hurt, but I enjoyed it. Like, it was, like, one of those things where it's like, yeah, it hurt, but, like, it was very dull pain. Like, it was just more almost stimulating and, like, massage-like, even though it was painful. And then I'll point at like the bones, like up in the like near my elbow, like in the ditch of my elbow, or like down by my wrist bones. And I was like, I was ready to kill someone during these parts. Like, these parts hurt like a bitch. So it's a very complicated answer to the question for me. Did it hurt? Even though it's also a very simple answer. Yes, it did.
I was just talking to my daughter about tattoos today. I was like, nope, it feels like a line of white hot fire running down my skin at all points of my body. It's like they just stuck in a white hot needle and drug it down.
You're describing the white highlights.
Yeah.
Down.
The white highlights are so like deceptive. It's like, okay, we're almost done, just a couple quick highlights. And if you tattoo like I do, where like half the tattoo is white highlights, it's like 30 minutes later, maybe we're done. But no matter what, like after your skin's already just like kind of like just tired and you're tired, it's been a long day, like even just the wiping, like the air hitting it hurts. Like, that's what I always tell people, like, because all people say, well, does color hurt more? And I'm like, well, yes and no. It's not like the needles or like the pigment makes it hurt more. It's just color tends to take longer and you hit the skin more times. So that's why people tend to say color hurts more. And no matter what, like any, like a lot of people I'd say start like feeling it more after like hour 4 or 5. Like that's tended when people start getting tired.
Mm-hmm.
But even it also kind of just depends on the spot too, because like I've had some spots where yeah, like it hurts, but it's not like excruciating. But I've never really had anywhere that was like excruciating, like I had to like tap out, like couldn't do it. And I've had some weird spots tattooed. I will say like my sternum hurt the worst, but anywhere on the rib cage just really sucks. Anywhere on the bones really sucks.
Yeah.
But I always tell people too, like the reason people say tattoos are addictive is because you tend to get the first one and like it doesn't hurt as bad as you thought it did, and you're like, oh well shit, like I could do this again, like this is feasible. But now thanks to modern tattooing, we have numbing cream that really just like you don't feel it at all. It's great. 10 out of 10.
I think I will say that there was a fun part on my wrist tattoos where whenever she hit a particular spot, my fingers would start twitching. So that was fun. It still hurt really bad, but it was fun. That
happens a lot anywhere. Anytime you're near a joint, it's just gonna happen. Like wrist will do it, your elbow will make your whole arm jump, like your knee will make your whole leg jump. Like the ankle and the feet are the worst, especially if you're ticklish, because it hurts, but now it tickles. So 10 out of 10. But doesn't go away when there's a needle involved.
Oh man.
I will say, as usual, I never do any research, so like I don't know if this is true. But I hear that like after a woman gives birth, a chemical is released in their brains that makes them forget how painful it was, so they'll want to have another kid. Like it's propagation of the species, right? I don't know if that happens with tattooing, but I will say every time I forget a tattoo, a couple weeks later I forget how much it hurt. And I'm like, man, that was just a really enjoyable experience all around. I can't wait to get the next one.
Yeah, then you're sitting there and you're like, why the fuck did I do this? Like, why did I ever think tattoos are cool? Why is this a good idea? Like, I'm paying this person to do this to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every time I sit in the
Hurt me,
chair,
tattoo mommy.
Yeah. I have a friend that calls it uwu needle punish time.
ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it always says it on my books every time I go to a new shop, and they're like, what the fuck does this say? I'm like, oh, this is exactly what you think it is.
Every time I sit in the chair, it's maybe it'll be better this time. It was not better.
Well, the fun thing too is it varies like artist to artist. Like some artists are just more heavy-handed than others.
Yes.
So even if like one spot didn't hurt this time, it's gonna hurt worse this time. Or if it's a cover-up, it tends to hurt worse. If you're tattooing over scars, sometimes the scars can like kill the nerve so you don't feel it at all, or it can make them more sensitive where you feel them even worse. Sometimes like for women, if you're on your menstrual cycle, it can make you more sensitive. It's gonna hurt worse, or it can make it not. Like it really just depends on like the day of the week too. Like maybe you just didn't sleep enough or something, or like you woke up wrong. Like sorry, God hates you today. It's gonna hurt.
But they're so worth it, though.
Oh yeah.
So worth it. That was another thing. That was another thing I was telling her because I was like, they hurt. They hurt so bad. And I said, if anybody tells you they don't hurt, they're fucking lying to you. But it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. But I mean, I also told her I would rather get a tattoo than a piercing
Oh, same.
because I think the payoff is better. The payoff is better for a tattoo than a piercing. But then her stepdad was like, no, I'd rather get a piercing than a tattoo. I was like, well, that's completely legit too. He's willing to put up with that bullshit to, have these piercings. So
Piercings take too long to heal for me. Like at least a tattoo, it's healed within like 2-3 weeks. Piercing, that bitch can just never heal. Like a year later, and you're like, wow, it still really hurts and bleeds sometimes. Like, and that's normal. Especially like if it's in like your cartilage, like weird ear ones, it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's lucky enough to have a close family of all body modded people that can tell her all the stuff that she needs. So.
I will say it's like a kind of a common misconception that piercings are completely temporary too, because like those scars can like be forever, and you usually have to get the scars like surgically removed. Especially like lip piercings. Like when I used to do piercings, I would refuse to pierce a minor's lips because I'm like, yeah, you would be a really cute like little scene girl now, but like in a couple years and you have to get a job, you're gonna have like 2 gaping holes in your mouth, and you're gonna be self-conscious about it. Because it's by one of the most noticeable parts of your face, which is your mouth, because people tend to watch people's mouths when they talk, because everyone's deaf because headphones nowadays.
What?
Yeah. What I said was.
I will say that's
now. So.
I will say that's one of the reasons we do this podcast over video chat, even though we don't keep the video and it's entirely audio only. Because we've had situations where our guests didn't have a camera. And I do find it more difficult to understand what they said or hear them when I can't watch them speak.
Yeah.
That is one of the downside of the mask. Is like I really have to kind of lean in to hear people, which kind of defeats the purpose of the mask if I have to get closer to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had hearing damage for most of my life, so I've learned to supplement with reading lips. So yes, this, whoo boy, whole lot of huhs and what and.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, man. Rough.
I will say I also feel like the video kind of helps like talk to other people, like kind of bounce off. It doesn't feel like an awkward phone call.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever do any consultations over video chat, especially now that we're in the crisis?
No, not for tattoos. I mostly do email. Like I prefer email anyways, no matter what, because I'm a very forgetful person. I also talk to so many people that it's so much easier for me to go back and just read everything we've talked about and be like, okay, that's exactly what we said. Because even
fair.
Regardless, if we do like an in-person consultation, I will take notes and everything too. So it's just easier. Especially like for your half sleeve, for example, like we had so much information that like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever saw it when I sent you like sketches or like works in progress of what I was working on, but like in like small little windows, I would like just have like clips of like the exact like email like screenshotted so I could see and read it, and even like other places I'll have it printed out like just so I can go back and reference it. Just so I know it's all like perfect and exact, especially for large pieces like that.
Is that a normal consultation period for you? Like what's a usual consultation time for you? Like from the time you're contacted to time of ink and skin?
It depends on how large the tattoo is, because some stuff really just needs like a single email, and I'd be like, okay, cool. And some people also, I don't want to say neurotic because that sounds more like a negative connotation, but it is like
it is what it is.
Yeah, they just really want to know what's going to happen and exactly how it is, and they really want to kind of build up a rapport with me and like know what's going to happen and like and make sure they can trust me to like know that I know what they're talking about. Usually those people tend to have already like been to another tattoo shop tattooed by an artist who didn't care about their work as much either and who felt like they were being ignored. So I do my best to try and keep up communication, even if it's a little slow because I have a lot. Even now, like I just like finished all my emails yesterday. I like woke up this morning and have like 32 more to like go through and read and respond to, and they're all like big paragraphs too. It's not easy. So I do take a couple days to respond to emails. I try and do it as quickly as possible. But I would say like the average person tends to be like 3 emails or so, and then I'll have them call the shop and book it, and I'll get them in the chair. And then it'll be some more emails after, being like, okay, this is like double checking, we're good for the date, cool. This is like your sketch, cool. All right, then I'll see you on this day.
Very cool.
I know communication tends to be important, especially not only like for the client to have that peace of mind, but also for me, because if like they forget their appointments on this day and they don't show up, I'm not making money that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we like take deposits too. If you don't show up, like I still need to make money because then I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs and being like, fuck, I should have stayed home.
Yeah.
I've had people bitch about the whole deposit thing. It's like, you don't realize what goes into this, do you?
It comes off the final price. I never understood why people get mad about that because like
Yeah. You're going
I
to pay
always-
for the tattoo either way.
I always tell people that like the deposit up front pays for the artwork that we do prior. Because like it really does suck if you like if I spend 8 hours drawing your piece and you just don't show up. I'm like, well, there was 8 fucking hours like where I'm not going to make money now. Because if I do art just as commission or for anyone else, I charge for it.
Right.
I'm convinced that if someone gets mad about a deposit, it's because they want that option to back out.
It's the same people who are like, well, I don't know if I want to set up the appointment. Can you draw that first? I'll see if I like it, then I'll set up the appointment. Red flag.
Yep.
Like, why would I do work for free?
Right. Exactly.
To do your dandelion on your wrist, that's going to take me 2 minutes to do? Sorry.
People.
Some of it, too, is just people who, like, aren't used to tattoo shops or tattoo artists. They don't really know how it goes. So I tend to just be like, not even in a rude way. If someone's, like, being annoying, I try to I'm like, hey, like, this is normally how it goes. This is how we do it and why. The reason I can't do it this way is because of this. And I've never actually had anyone get shitty back and be like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was being annoying. And I'm like, yeah, no, it happens. Just don't do it again. We're Gucci. Especially when it comes to like the biggest one is just people wanting us to redraw over and over and over again. And I'm like, hey, I can only redraw it so much.
Yeah.
Like the more I have to redraw one thing is less time I can draw someone else's thing. You know, I try and like split things up very evenly so everyone gets my time. That's also why people get upset if they like just walk into the shop and they'll be like, well, why can't I talk to the artist right now? She can't take a quick break. I'm like, well, this person paid for my time. I'm not going to like take my time away from my client just to talk to you for a minute when you can just email me.
I guess that's a good reminder that in the end that, you know, tattooing is a customer service job and customer service jobs can suck sometimes.
Yeah, it certainly has its like ups and downs.
I would imagine that the worst part of the job would be the customer service aspect.
Yeah, especially because like usually as a start tattoo artist, like we're just kind of weird, and so if you like get someone who's like very normal, you're like, okay. Like I found when I first started, like I struggle to talk to people who aren't in things I do, just because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna talk about. Like some mom who goes to church every Sunday and like just raises her kids, like fuck. But I've gotten better now. Like I can hold a conversation about anything. Like you want to talk about like goldfish for 2 hours? I got you. And even just like the difference of your clients that day. Like I remember one day it was really funny just because how different it was. Is my first half of the day I was tattooing this like family, all matching tattoos. They're about to go on their mission trip back to Africa, and they just wanted to get tattoos prior to that. And then my second half of the day I was tattooing a gay porn star, and I talked to both of them equally, and it was both great experiences. It was just, you know, I didn't say fuck as much the first half of the day, and I said fuck way too much the second half of the day.
That's fair.
The weird part, first half of the day, you were talking about gay porn. And the second part, you were talking about, you know, the Christian ideology.
Usually the same conversation is always pets. Like if I like don't know what to say, I'm always, so do you have any pets?
Oh yeah.
People talk about their dog for hours.
Okay, and then you could really figure out, oh no, I hate animals. All right, well, this is done.
Yeah. Yeah, like get out of my chair, but we just have a dot. I'm like, and you get that dot, you're welcome. Bye.
so many things.
Well, a lot of tattoo artists, they like, they're just not good at talking to anyone. You know, like it's just part of it. Like you just have to like be a people person. And a lot of people aren't expecting it because they're used to being like just weird artists. Because artists are, so it's definitely a skill you've learned. Like I was definitely way more awkward at the beginning, and I'm still pretty awkward now. But like we're getting there. At least now I hope it's like a little more like endearing and less like, is she okay?
You gotta love a person with quirks.
Yeah, right. And if they don't, fuck them. Just take their money. You'll never see them again.
Yeah.
Which would be the best part of the customer service aspect.
Right.
Oh god, I love being in a customer service job when somebody says, "I'm never coming here again." It's like,
thank God.
Good.
I've worked a couple jobs where I actually had the power that power in my hands of I'm never coming here again. Cool. One of them was Blockbuster. I can't understand how I had that power there, but it was great. Like I returned this video. No, you didn't. I watched you not return this video.
Yeah, I will say it's just a great like working a job where I can tell people no and like not feel bad about it. Just straight up tell them no. Like just go to someone else. That's fine. I don't care. Like what? Like yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is not the right piece of art for me. Like
Yeah.
Find someone who will do it for you.
Yep. So I'm not going to waste your time. You're not going to waste my time. We're done here.
Yeah.
That's
Something was just not my style. Some people are so dead set on me doing something. I'm like, look, like I can't do that. That's hard. Like, like I don't do realism. Realism is difficult, especially like faces. For the same reason of like, you can get the whole face perfect except one eye. You get that pupil off by a centimeter, it's fucking wonk-eyed. And then there goes the whole tattoo. So no, I don't do it. Like,
Okay,
but there's just so.
To be fair, I wanted the Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, you got a little more wiggle room with that. Like babies are the hardest ever because their faces are like so soft. Like you can make them look real old real quick because you're like, oh, they just look like a blob. Let me add a little more shadows. Oh fuck, this baby definitely looks like it just got off a 9 to 5.
I have seen some doozies. Let me tell you.
Yeah. But also, if you want something like a portrait or realism, just go to someone who specializes in like only does that. Don't go to the girl who draws cartoons. Okay?
Yeah. I've never understood the whole. I'm going to go to this person, have them tell me I'm not really comfortable with realism, and then try to force them into it. It's like,
yeah, no, it happens.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I'd rather have an artist tell me I wouldn't be the greatest at drawing this, especially if it's a tattoo artist who knows a lot of artists, and they go, I wouldn't be great at drawing this, but go talk to so and so. I think they would be great for this. Like I think that's way better than them just doing it anyway and hoping for the best.
well, not only that, if you're looking at an artist's portfolio, you should be able to be like, this is what I'm getting into. This is what I can expect. You know, if they don't have any photorealistic stuff up in their portfolio, then why would you try to push that? I mean, maybe it's something that they are good at, but if it was, maybe they should have put that in their portfolio. Or maybe they're good at it and they just don't like to do it, and that's why it's not in their portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm sure if I walked into your booth, I'd know exactly what I'm getting when I walk out.
Yeah, it'd be like walking into like a Toyota dealership and being mad they don't have Hummers.
Right?
Like, what do you mean you can't sell me a Hummer? Like, it's not what we do here. Sorry.
Which I'm sure has happened.
Yeah. God.
I can guarantee you that has happened.
Yeah.
So why can't I get a Ford here? Are you serious right now? Yeah. Yeah.
My husband works for Microsoft, and he's definitely been asked a few times of like, so like, can you like compare like the Google devices and tell me like if they're better? Like, can you just like give me the specs of the Google? He's like, why the fuck would I know the specs of the Google devices? No, I can tell you about the Microsoft ones, but not Google. Like, it's not my product, bro.
I won't state the name of the company because that's career suicide. But I work for cell phone company A, and someone who has cell phone carrier B will literally come into my store and want to know why I can't fix their account or pay their bill. It's like, well, because I work for company A and you're with company B, but it's all phones, and I'm like, that's not how this works.
If only, man. You're right. It's a monopoly. Capitalism, bro. Like, go off, queen.
God, people. How many times have I said that in this show? It's horrible. Oh man.
Yeah, I feel like half of this show so far has just been like, man, customer service can suck sometimes.
Definitely at least the past 15 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, earlier we were talking about like parents and rated R movies.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, now this episode is titled Tattoo/Customer Service.
Except no one is a geek for customer service. Let's just fucking.
No, but a lot of geeks are forced to work customer service, and they know what it's like.
Yeah, that's true.
How tattoo artists and prostitution is closely related. The truth may surprise you.
And that's the title of our podcast.
Yeah, I gotta say, I got way more like respect working as a prostitute than I ever did working customer service.
I mean,
At least,
that makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
At least if I wasn't getting like respected, I was getting paid way more. Like, yeah, you could call me a bitch if you throw hundreds at my face. Like, that's the only time when.
right?
Hell, you can call me a bitch if you throw hundreds at my face. I don't care.
I mean, if I'm getting hundreds thrown at my face, there's very little I wouldn't do. Let's just toss
Yeah.
that there.
Yeah, you're
Anybody
absolutely
listening?
right.
My contact information.
So the moral of the story is, I do have morals, but $100 is $100.
Right, exactly. It's not immoral if it's in a recession.
In this economy?
There are lines, but every one of those lines can be broken for a correct dollar amount.
Look, I'm not killing anybody for 100. I'm just saying, lines blur.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if rent prices keep going up.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it. I'm
not gonna touch it. But if you pay my rent,
What's
I
a
feel like
Z? You gotta ask. You can't afford it.
that's the same parallel when it comes to artists and doing furry porn. You're like, ew, why would I ever draw furry porn? Wait, you'd pay me how much? Okay, how many buckets of cum did you want? Okay, no, like, yeah, no, that's fine.
I'll throw an extra one in there for free.
Yeah. I will say, as with tattooing and furry porn, that like as an artist, just doing a niche and being good at it, you will just make so much money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I could
Like-
definitely do that.
That's with anything, even if it is the porn industry, even like tattooing art, like even jobs that aren't necessarily glamorous. Like there was a whole thing of like how much like waste disposal, like dudes who clean up like dog shit, like they make so much money because no one else wants to do it.
What? I'll clean
Yeah.
up dog shit. I don't care.
Right?
I have a dog. I have to clean up dog shit anyways. Give me this job.
as soon as this podcast is over, Baron's entire search history: dog shit cleaning jobs, dog shit cleaning jobs near me, dog shit cleaning jobs Monday through Friday.
I used to have a job where I had to wade into a tank of fermenting soybeans and clean them out.
Ew.
I'm pretty sure dog shit is going to be much better than that.
Yeah, especially if you have like, you know, like the little like scooper, like the long one, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know how better how to describe it.
And I'm walking outside when I do it, getting some sun. I mean, come on. Sounds
In
perfect.
short, tattooing is like cleaning up dog shit.
Title of the podcast.
If you clean up dog shit well, because being a
Right.
good tattoo artist is just being good and a sea of people who are shit at it. And just being good at what you're good at. Like, I can draw cartoons, I will not draw your baby. Unless you want your baby as a cartoon, that'd be really funny. Let's do it.
My baby is a cartoon.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk my friend into getting, like, a cutesy anime, like, waifu e-girl of her dad. We're getting so close. Like,
What?
when I first said it, she's like, oh, that's stupid. Why would I get that? The more I say it, she's like, that'd be really funny. I'm like, it would be really funny.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Like, so why are we fucking around? Let's fucking do it.
It'd be the best tattoo ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I love doing weird tattoos like that. Because they, like, just social media wise, they always do well too, which means, like, more people see my stuff. And as, like, it's not starving, but starting out artist, like, that's very important. Because memes go viral. Just make everything a meme. We're all gonna die one day. Just live your life as a joke.
Never take life too seriously. You'll never get out alive.
Yeah,
now
right.
we're putting some absurdism into the podcast. Gotta love it.
All right, Baron. You ready to throw a ball on this thing?
Nah, I never am. You know I'm never ready. Yeah, and it's funny, too, because I could totally devote the brain power to throwing a bow on the end of this throughout the podcast, but I'm too busy talking about other things, so I'm never ready.
It's existential crisis hour.
Hey,
I was waiting for someone to make a joke after them. Like, man, we all just sat here like, yeah,
But you're right. I mean,
we all are gonna die.
it's like, you say that all the
Like, damn, y'all okay?
time.
Look, I don't know if I told you this when I was telling you that I do a podcast, but the reason we do a podcast is because a global pandemic happened and we were not okay. And this is our way of checking up on each other every week and going, hey, you're still not having killed yourself yet, right? Okay, cool.
Pretty much.
Is that the real reason you do video chatting, just to make sure, like,
Yes.
okay, good. Like, it's
Let's
actually
be real.
you, isn't it?
This podcast is 100% therapy for me, and I think I speak for both of us at this point.
And it's for us, and then the D&D game that we ran was to check up on our friends.
So, yep.
Like,
I mean,
every single person knows that D&D is just like escapism from your trauma. Like, we all know it's true.
I mean, sometimes it's straight up facing it too.
Yeah.
I've seen people use it as straight up therapy
in a safe environment.
Right.
So now we're comparing D&D to BDSM. Love it.
Hey, they both have dungeon masters.
Yeah. I did see something recently that was like, the issues in both communities is you can't find enough people that want to, like, DM.
I mean, yeah.
Like, man, no one wants to host.
And then you got those fake dungeon masters.
Fucking posers. They think they know what they're talking about. Goddamn alpha male complex just want to, like, run a world. Ugh.
Right. Wait, are we talking about BDSM or D&D?
Yes. The answer is yes, either way.
Well, I guess if you made it this far into the podcast, you realize that we probably didn't use any of those names for our podcast, and you should definitely get out there. You should definitely check out some of your local scenes, see who's doing tattoos in your area, give them a visit, maybe get a tattoo while you're there, because that would be great. You're supporting a local artist, you're keeping a community alive and thriving, and you get to walk away with a pretty badass piece of art that you get to keep for the rest of your life, maybe get cut off your skin and framed when you die. So do the thing and send us pictures. That'd be great. Send us pictures of your tattoos.
Yeah.
Casterskill@gmail.com.
Please send us pictures of your tattoos.
Yeah, if you get a Caster Skill tattoo, we'll give you a shout out because we can't afford to give you gifts. All right, back to you, Rick.
All right, Lucy. If anybody likes what you had to say and they want to find you somewhere on the internet,
I'm on Instagram at LovecraftLucy. I originally was gonna do it Lucy Lovecraft, but someone else stole it. I tried to pay her to change it, but she has it. So the real Lucy Lovecraft is watching this. Please change your Instagram handle. I will pay you. But otherwise, it's at LovecraftLucy. Same with my Facebook is also Lucy Lovecraft.
What about that TikTok?
I haven't gotten it up yet. We'll get there, but it's also Lovecraft Lucy. I keep it very easy, just like me.
I don't know why it took a couple seconds for that to register.
It's late. It's okay. I know I'm funny. I don't need the laughs to prove it.
So thank you so much for being on our podcast.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Check us out on all the socials. We're also on Twitch and YouTube, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Don't be sad. Go get a tattoo.
Nice.